Hello, everybody. We're back on the basement. I'm Trevor, and with me as always, for the most part. We'll see about next week, but hopefully we have Mark and Knopic.
I'm not Trevor, but I could be.
You could in a parallel universe. It's absolutely possible. We also have with us today the fan favorite, Adam Went.
Oh, sorry, getting a little brushing up on some movies in between shows that I do here. Hello, friends. Happy Saturday.
Hello.
Actually, what day is it?
Is it Saturday?
I
Happy
think it's
Saturday.
Yeah, it's
Yay!
Saturday.
Sometimes I still
Yay.
forget.
Well, I mean, life really
Uh,
hasn't changed at all in the last 16 months, so why should we care what day of the week it is?
no, absolutely not.
I'm done with it. I'm done with caring what day is it, what's going on. And I'm down to a one thing. I try and do one thing a day now. I got down to that at the pandemic. I'm like, nope, I got one thing. I'm going to plan one thing for the day. Although this is my
I
second
got like
thing
a
for the day.
half. Uh,
I was going to ask a
like,
really inappropriate question about what that was, but I'm going to leave that alone.
One thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I got some work
There
done. And now this is my second
reminders
thing.
on stream. Uh, I'll be talking about the Green Knight because I just saw that today as that is the title. You guys haven't seen it, correct?
Ooh.
I have not, but Billy has.
No.
Yeah.
Who's that director? Because I like him, and I can't remember. I don't know him enough to remember his name yet, but
I always get him confused with another director.
I keep wanting to say David Lowery, but I don't think that's it.
Is it? I think the last name's Lowry. Yeah, it is David Lowery.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good
For
director.
some reason, I have no clue why that name always gets confused in my head with Sean Levy, for absolutely no reason. Because he's doing Free Guy, right?
Oh, is that Sean Levy?
Levy
That would make
is the
sense.
guy.
Yeah, that seems like his style.
So I don't know why, but those names always get confused in my head. But yeah, I'll be talking about the Green Knight. Also,
Sweet.
I guess that our viewership will go up in approximately 30 minutes once
Why? Is something going on? Is something else that might be of relevant interest to our friends?
there might be something.
Never heard of it. What is that?
Yeah, I don't know, some kind of movie trivia program. But most of you might be listening to this on replay because of that, which you know.
That's okay. Just don't mention what day of the week it is. Wow, we already messed that up.
Oh no.
Well, time travel, we can fix it.
Fix it. RoboCop, we can
well.
fix you. They'll fix everything.
All right. And we only have Mara for a little bit, but we can
A little bit, yes. My flight was delayed, so I'm glad to be here at all.
Yeah,
That's very exciting.
You guys can also send in donations at streamlabs.com/Mara Knopic. I'm going to try, and I think I figured out how to look at them. I think. Might not have, though. Pretty sure, like 90% sure I figured out how to be able to look at them. But hey, maybe you could send one in so that way we can test and see if I figured it out. I don't know. Do we have any goals for today?
Well, there's always the Letterboxd movie game. We can always force Adam to play because he doesn't have the Google Doc.
I
true,
don't.
That's true. That's
I was going to ask if I need anything to prepare for the show, but now I'm glad I didn't. I could be entertaining in that capacity.
Yeah. No, this is just our fallback, the Letterboxd movie game. It's just anything. We'll say
And we've retooled Adam actually, so it's even
branded
better now.
content, is what it is. You retooled what was fixed. It was perfect before.
So rather than having multiple choices, what we do is we'll give you more reviews. You'll get like one that's kind of vague, and then you'll get one with more information and one with more information to gradually lead you to the answer. But you can keep track of, like, maybe you get it on the first random review, maybe you don't, but they're all funny and it's all for fun.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
I love this.
Another variation is picking the review from one of our friends, somebody in this space of YouTube. So whether that be a Schmodown competitor or another film reviewer that's in this space, and picking the review from them. Adam, do you know what the last movie you logged on Letterboxd was?
Yes. Because I only started I'm going to start putting things there because I watch a lot of interesting stuff. But I only started it because I got a job in Vegas and I love finding out what's on random TV at night. So I started my Letterboxd only to review movies that I watch in hotels. And I did a really good job my first trip to Vegas. I worked for Penn & Teller in the fall. And I just did another 2 weeks in Vegas working for Penn & Teller. But I didn't get to review too many movies. So I'm going to say the last one I review is Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Ooh, that's your second last one.
Second to last one. What was the very last
your most
one?
recent one is Runaway Jury.
Runaway Jury. Right. I watched that whole movie in my hotel.
Yeah.
And Runaway Jury was one of those movies, when I worked in the movie theater, the Runaway Jury trailer was before every movie. And that's the one, you weren't really allowed to go in and watch the movies because we had to work at my theater. They wouldn't let you just do that. But you always got to see the trailers that were playing because you had to go in, check the projection. If there was anything wrong with it, report back to the projector or whatever. So, a projectionist. So I saw the Runaway Jury trailer and the Client trailer 100 times.
Oh, the Client.
Yeah. And that's what's funny, that question came up in a certain unnamed trivia contest of what was the name of the law firm in that. And I was like, that's the first words of the trailer. So I actually knew that one.
Nice.
I was so excited when Trevor told me that TV movies are on Letterboxd because there's this cautionary tale about the ravages of drug use that is like a made-for-TV movie that I love, and I don't know why.
Which one?
I've seen it like 6 times. It's called Perfect High. It has Bella Thorne in it from before she was like out there and popular.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why, but I really like that stupid movie. So it's going to be probably the first thing I review on Letterboxd.
Yeah, Mara's on Letterboxd now. We did get a Streamlab from Stacy. She donated $5 and said, "Here's your test. Did you figure it out?" And I'm reading it, so I did.
Oh, thank you, Stacy.
Garth also said something in the chat. Just curious if any of you watched Sword of the Valiant: The Legend of Sir Gawain in Green Knight 1984, starring Sean Connery.
What? No, but I'm watching that as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, I did not know those existed. Thanks for
Me either.
Garth.
Although connected to that, I did just get to see, finally, the New Beverly has opened, the world's greatest movie theater. And the opening double feature that I went to with Paul Preston was Excalibur and Sword of Lancelot, a 1950s, maybe 60 movie. But yeah, Excalibur, oh my God, that is a hell of a movie. Has anybody seen Excalibur? The John Boorman with Liam Neeson and Patrick Stewart and Cate Blanchett. I believe Cate Blanchett.
I've read
Not for a long time.
Off of X-Men from the 90s. Haven't seen the movie, which is completely
I want to
unrelated.
rewatch it.
Oh, the Excalibur comic book? Is that what you were just referencing?
Yeah.
I used to read that too. That was actually, I mean, to get a good X in your title, Excalibur was a great name for an X-Men comic book also.
Love all the Kitty Pryde stuff in there. We got introduced to Lockheed. Completely unrelevant to what you were talking about.
Yeah, Lockheed the dragon, shoulder dragon.
Yeah.
God, did they make a Lockheed like shoulder dragon that to just put on your yourself? I would love a Lockheed shoulder dragon.
I can work that up for you.
Lockheed's still doing stuff in the comics now. Now it's Kitty Pryde and the Marauders.
They keep adding X-Men to these movies, and I'm always shocked. I mean, I was a person that, spent all my youth wanting really good superhero movies and never got a whole lot of them, although I loved all the ones that I had. But the one thing I was just certain they were never going to put Captain America. They were never going to make a good Captain America movie, and they were never ever going to get Wolverine in a movie. It was just too impossible. So now that they've put all these in, it's like, who's left? Like Lockheed hasn't shown up yet, has he?
The New Mutants.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy plays Magic.
Yeah, okay. I'm very excited to see that because I used to be a superhero completist.
Don't know Kate Pryde though. I mean, she's appeared in stuff, but never in like a major role. She's probably my favorite X-Men character.
Yeah, I like Kitty Pryde.
Any guesses as to who my least favorite X-Man is? Who I think is the lamest X-Man?
Skin?
The Blob?
Nope.
Morph?
Oh, Morph.
Cypher.
Oh,
Since the invention of Google and the iPhone, I think Cypher is the lamest X-Man.
That's fair.
What is her power? Or his?
Cypher is literally an iPhone. Like that's the whole character.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You say what you want to. You say what information you want out of Cypher. Hello, Cypher. Find me the times for for the Green Knight.
Well, speaking of movies in the Green Knight, do you guys want to hear what I watched this week?
I do.
You okay?
And we need a song, an intro for this segment. So
Adam,
I'm calling this out. I'll help you.
Yeah, Adam, you're singing it.
What did Trevor watch this week? There you go.
Cool, I'm sound biting that. All right. What I watched, and really over the past 2 weeks, and I haven't watched as much as I would like to. I still watch quite a bit, but over the past 2 weeks, since we didn't do a show last week, I watched Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry, the documentary. I wouldn't call myself a massive Billie Eilish fan. I've listened to some of her music, not a lot though. But this is a really, really well done documentary. Because it's also hard to remember at times that like when she swept what are the music ones? The Grammys?
Emmys?
I don't pay attention to
Emmys.
things other than movies.
Sorry. Yeah, Grammys.
The
The Musickies.
Grammys.
I think it's called the Musickies.
What would be the film ones? The moviesies?
The Moviesies.
But she was, I think, 17 when she swept the Grammys.
Jeez.
So it's, I mean,
That's too much pressure.
Yeah. So it's a really, really well done documentary, just looking inside her personal life through this ridiculous rise to fame when she was my age. So
17 is hard anyway. I think you'd attest, Trevor, and I think we'd all attest.
I mean,
17.
I'm not there yet, but yeah.
I was gonna say he's not even 16 yet, man.
Okay, yeah, I
got
keep
another,
forgetting.
like,
I keep
weeks.
forgetting.
No,
The world is your oyster, Trevor, and you've got such a great start on life. I mean, look at your friends here. Look what's going on with it. You imagine, Mara? You know, remember our lonely childhoods where you were like, "Hey, does anyone know who directed Clockwork Orange?" Everybody's like, "No, nobody knows information like that. Go away."
When I was Trevor's age, I
Orange
was on AOL Instant Messenger and playing euchre with people that I didn't know, and probably not being as safe on the internet as I should have been.
Nice.
Yeah, but the internet was
Love you,
so safe back then.
It kind of was, actually.
It was the equivalent of, like, you know, when I was a kid, you could go out and you had to be back before sunset. You know, like you just go. I guess the internet was a little bit like that. Some version of just, hey, just be back by sunset.
Yeah. Mara, we should play. We should find teammates and play euchre sometime.
Yes, please.
I love you.
Do you know how to play euchre, Adam?
No, which puts you in jail in Ohio. Like everybody knows how to play euchre. I mean, I've been taught several times, but for some reason just couldn't get into it. I don't know why.
So I'm going to teach you this weekend.
Yeah.
Great. This is fantastic. There was that, Hand and Foot, and there was another game that everybody played. And I mean, like, literally, like, for my grandparents, like, people would come over every night and they'd all sit and play cards for like 3 hours. That was just what they did.
Yeah.
And it was always Hand and Foot and euchre and something else. Something else is Trump.
A lot of people I knew played hearts and spades as well.
Hearts was huge in the improv community in Chicago. After a show, like they would just set up a table on stage, and other people would be standing around drinking, meeting each other and stuff, and there was like a big group that would just sit on stage and just play hearts for like 2 hours after shows. Never learned how to play that either.
It's okay.
But you could teach me.
I could.
On to my next movie. I rewatched still my favorite of the year, Shiva Baby. For the third, I think I rewatched it for the third time. I've seen it 4 times.
Sheba Baby with Pam Grier?
Shiva Baby.
Oh, Shiva Baby.
Yeah.
I know too much about the wrong movies.
I think Dan and I are going to watch it tomorrow night, Trevor.
Nice.
We were going to watch it, but we didn't have time.
Followed
that's
up with Sheba Baby. It's good too.
fair.
What is Shiva Baby?
Yeah, so Shiva Baby is so it's an independently produced film. It's an adaptation of somebody's so it's the same director, so Emma Seligman. She was 24 when she made this film. So she was 22 when she made the short film as her thesis for film school. So she adapted it into a feature, and it was made for like $150,000 to $200,000. Like really really low budget.
Oh, I gotta look this up.
And it is like the best hour in 15-minute panic attack you'll ever have.
Whoa, okay. I like that description.
It's a script of a dramedy directed like a horror movie. It perfectly encapsulates like social anxiety.
Really?
It's really, really, really phenomenal. So yeah, and Ben, we'll get to the Green Knight. We will, I promise.
I also just love any movie that surrounds the concept of sitting Shiva, because it's like literally the most miserable thing ever. So if I can force anyone to experience even an iota of it, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, it's really, really phenomenal. I think it's on HBO Max right now, and like I said, it's only an hour 15 minutes.
I love a good cheap indie film. That's just always near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, same. Also, I didn't realize The Green Knight was made for I think $100,000.
Was it?
Wow,
That's amazing.
Gosh.
That's amazing.
At least that's
we could see it,
that's
Adam, while I'm there.
We could. We might have to watch that because we were talking. Because how fun is this? I get to hang out with Mara. I get to meet Mara for the second time ever, and hang out with her this week. It's so very excited.
We need to do an
Technically, we've been in the same places before. We were just not like friends.
Right. Right. I was intimidated. I was like, we'd never get along. I mean, how do I know she likes movies?
Exactly. I only like movies called Star Trek. That's the catch there.
I like movies with star in the title. I'll tell you that. Star gets my attention. Yeah.
I did not like the most recent A Star Is Born, though, so I can't.
No, you didn't like A Star
Is
Born. I don't like all movies with a star in the title. I didn't like Star Kid. Stargate was fine.
Classic.
Stargate, yikes. Oof. Then I watched the Fear Street trilogy.
Loved it.
Fear Street? Oh yeah. What is this? So I looked this up, and there are 3 movies called Fear Street that come out in the same year. They all come out this year, right?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
They're all out. Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3.
How did this come about? What's the story behind? Yeah, why there's 3 Fear Streets? Go ahead, Mar.
Well, Mar, do you want to take it?
Oh well, I mean, it's basically like it's an R.L. Stine story, and it feels kind of like that perfect hybrid between what kind of feels almost like YA, but it definitely has the gore factor. And the first one is set in the mid-90s. The second one is imagine Friday the 13th, except like with modern technology and stuff. Like it's set in the 60s. And
60s, 70s, yeah.
Yeah. And then the third one is set in like the 1800s. But it's all about it centers around this one group of people, and there's like a witch and what's going on. But the second part is just so good, because I have a huge nostalgia for like anything camp murder related. I would totally rewatch all 3 of those again. So we're having lots of choices now.
It's really fun, Adam.
I just love that the first time I've heard of this filmmaker and they've made a trilogy. I love that. This is great.
Yeah, it's their first movies, Lee Janik.
Yeah. That's so cool.
All together. I was dared to send the link to Ben by the chat.
To bring him in?
Peer pressure, Trevor. I mean, you're of that age.
Well, I can't. I don't know how to contact Ben.
I do. Hold on.
I think that
I can do this.
What, are you bringing him into the show?
We might. We'll see if he'll answer the call.
Take the challenge.
Then I watched Mogul Mowgli, which is a British Pakistani film, I believe.
I believe you.
From last year. So it's from Bassam Tariq, who was just announced as the director of Blade.
Really?
So it stars Riz Ahmed. This Mogul Mowgli I really, really liked. So it stars Riz Ahmed. So of course it's good.
I'm never going to catch up with all these movies.
Yeah. Oh, but Ben said he's okay. I'm okay, thank you. Yeah. So I really, really like this. It's feels very similar to Sound of Metal just by the premise. It's like a musician who is diagnosed with an illness, so then is having troubles with continuing a musical career, and it stars Riz Ahmed. So basically, Sound of Metal. But it's really, really interesting visually. So first of all, it's shot in a 1:1 aspect ratio, which for some reason I was talking with Mara about this. For some reason, I just love. Like I am obsessed with the 1:1 aspect ratio.
I find it weird, but I get the appeal. I got the appeal in Witch, but for some reason the Witch seemed even taller And all those shots of all the
Yeah.
trees, I was like, oh, it's really cool that this is in 4x3 or 1x1.
Yeah.
But
1x1, yeah, 4x3. It's kind of the same.
yeah,
Just
basically
slightly
1x1.
Yeah. But yeah, 1x1/4x3. Like my ideal film, like just visually, would be the 1x1/4x3 aspect ratio, shot in black and white, with the same kind of like choreographed vibes of La La Land. Just all of that.
So
would
if
be,
someone
like,
wants
my
to get Trevor into the back of a van, just say, I've got a movie back here. It's kind of like La La Land. It's black and white. It's in 4x3. You'd love it. Just come in the back of my van.
And I would go. It would be worth it.
I've got Pillar Box movies here. Who wants a Pillar Box movie? Trevor, you like Pillar Box movies. Hey, there's Cam. Hello.
So yeah, no, I really did like Mogul Mowgli though. Like there's some sequences where he is like, you know, medicated and he's like having like I don't know, I want to call them like visions. I can't find like the right word.
Hallucinations?
Hallucinations. Thank you, Mara. But he's having hallucinations and it's very unsettling. And just the imagery that's used, I think, would work very well for Blade. So I really like the choice of Bassam Tariq for Blade. Then I watched Clerks for the first time.
The first time?
So fun.
Wow. Now, have you seen other Kevin Smith movies?
This was my first.
Wow. Well, you picked the perfect one then. And that's, you know, that's the indie era of my heart, those early 90s. It's things just started to change in this amazing way with music and movies. Yeah. Clerks was my jam.
Yeah, for sure. No, that movie that movie came out 11 years before I was born. There's no reason for me to have seen it until now.
That's true. That's fair.
So then I watched Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, which was a movie. It would have been much better if it wasn't a G.I. Joe movie.
Agreed. If it had just been called Awesome Ninja Clan Fight Movie, it would have been so much better.
Yeah.
But I mean, you might as well have named G.I. Joe Retaliation that, and that's why I like G.I. Joe Retaliation too. But
yeah.
But there's other Cobra, I mean, and G.I. Joe people in it, right? Like they do.
Yeah.
They do like the X-Men origin things where they don't just give you Wolverine. You're going to get a couple extra characters, right?
Right.
Yeah, but it's like shoehorned in the worst possible way.
Yeah. Like they have no impact on the story.
Oh, hi, Tunnel Rat. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, like that sort of thing. Sounds like something Zartan would do. Oh, we're not putting him in this, but I'm just referencing Zartan. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, I got two more movies to get through before the Green Knight, and then we have a special guest to bring on. But last two here, I watched Underworld for the first time, and there's a lot of leather.
So much leather.
Lots and
it
lots
was
of leather.
The craze at the time.
It was a very leather time. I mean, this is when that came out. What, 5 years after Blade, or maybe, you know?
It was a very leather time.
Yeah. The X-Men. Everybody had black leather. Yeah. Underworld, and some people embraced it more than others, like the Matrix and the Underworld, for sure.
Yeah. That's really my only comment.
By the way.
Yes.
Yes. By the way, the black leather thing, like all superheroes used to be clad in black leather, and we forget now there used to be a thing of like, ooh, what are the costumes going to look like for a superhero? And so then they would release these things, and people would go pick them apart. Oh, it looks interesting. And then when Marvel came along, it was like, oh, I wonder what the Iron Man costume is going to look like. And it was like 100% comic accurate. And then like everyone after that was 100% comic accurate, pretty much. So it's kind of that's a bygone era where you're like, oh, it's all black.
I would love. Okay, let's think about the right way to say this. I wouldn't have loved to have seen this because it wouldn't have been good, but I also would have loved to see them try and make the Iron Man suit black leather.
That's true. The alternate universe. If movies never stopped being late 90s superhero movies. Like if all the Marvel movies were made in 1999 or 98 or 96, yeah, exactly. What would all his costumes look like? I mean, and the thing about those costumes too is like, and I remember the Punisher, the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, and I was so excited for a Punisher movie. And I was like, I mean, it is not the most like ridiculous thing. It's not like trying to put Spider-Man's costume and run it past 1980s audience. Like, he is mostly black with a skull on it. I'm like, that's a lot of metal bands. Like, it's, you know, if the lead singer Megadeth can pull it off, then I'm pretty sure you can just throw it in a Punisher movie. But they didn't. They did all this other black leather stuff, and then he had a knife with a skull on it. People were like, hey, look at the reference to the comics. Like, yeah, exactly, right? They had to call it out.
Well, remember this though, like there was the huge Hugh Jackman controversy. It's like he can't be Wolverine. He's the wrong size. He's huge. You can't have him be Wolverine. So it's
right.
That was already a huge thing.
We demand. Who was the guy that was supposed to be him? We demand.
Dougray Scott.
Dougray Scott. We demand Dougray Scott. Release the Dougray cut.
No, let's not do that.
Release the Dougray Scott.
Shrek as Wolverine.
Last one here. I rewatched Frozen. Okay, so I've had an up and down relationship with this movie. So I watched it in the theaters when it came out. I was a wee 8 years old. And I thought that it was kind of fun.
Same age I was when I saw The Empire Strikes Back in the theaters. Anyway, continue. Maybe that actually might not be exactly correct, but
fact checking.
For a fact, I was.
I enjoyed it for the most part. I mean, I was 8. I thought that it was kind of fun. But then I had a younger sister who was 5 at the time. And over the course of 2 years, I probably watched that movie over 100 times. I got very, very tired of it. Very, very tired of it.
That's a lot of letting it go.
Your sister watched it over and over?
Yeah, no, she hates the movie now.
Yeah.
But as in that 5 to 8 years old range, it was a lot of Frozen. But now revisiting it, like post the Let It Go Everywhere I Turn era, it's a solid movie. I like the animation's really, really great. The dialogue isn't as bad as most animated films. Every song is really good, I would say. I don't think that there's a bad, maybe Fixer Upper, but I don't think that there's overall a bad song in there. So overall, I like Frozen. I like it. I like it well enough. So.
That is a sort of thing you could ask people about, is that movie that their sister or younger sibling, I didn't have any younger siblings, but I did have a friend that I would play Stratomatic Hockey, if people remember that, over at his house, and his sister would watch the same stuff over and over. It was mostly like the Gem and the Holograms cartoon. And I just never forget, as we're sitting there playing Stratomatic, and we're like, okay, and then so-and-so, passes to the goalie or passes to whatever and stuff like that. And he would just, knowing instinctively, because this tape had been played 100 times, he'd be like, it's showtime, Synergy. And then it would happen on the TV, like, while he's actually in the game. That was kind of a funny moment, yeah.
Well, that is what I watched this week, except for The Green Knight, which we'll get into. But before that, we have a special guest to bring on and a stream. We have a fellow dungeon mate, Mr. John Hoey. How you doing?
John Hoey, as I live and breathe.
I'm in my basement, in your basement.
Awesome.
It's funny because I'm in my second story, but it's my basement.
we can inverse that, right? It's math.
I think a basement's a playroom. Like it's it's a sense of mind. This is my basement. Sure.
Thanks for having me in the basement.
Absolutely. That's never going to not sound creepy.
Never. That's the whole idea. I mean, think about it this way, just objectively. There are 3 different decades of age here, all of us adult people, and we have a 15-year-old in our basement. That just is, all of that is wrong.
That is true.
Trevor, put the lotion in the basket.
Or actually, no, I forgot. Hoey, you and I are close to the same age, so never mind. We have 2 decades of people, and then Trevor.
I'm a decade of people. I've been told that. I'm a decade's worth of people.
We also have a Streamlab, another one from Stacy here. She donated another $5. Thank you, Stacy. She said, Mara,
thank you, Stacy.
There is a lot of Maras on Letterboxd. I keep checking to see if any have Gods of Egypt in their top 4 movies. No! I will find you in a non-creepy way. LOL.
Oh, she could find me in a creepy way. I love Stacy. My name on Letterboxd is actually Brown Dwarf Star because I don't know why. I just decided that was what it was going to be.
Absolutely.
I just
So,
got Letterboxd, so I'm new to Letterboxd.
Have you reviewed A New Hope yet?
I have not.
You're
Shame.
on Letterboxd, Toby?
I just got on there. I don't even know what my username is.
Find you again in the
Tell me what it is. I want to follow you.
I should be reviewing all these Harrison Ford movies. I realize that's a good excuse to get on Letterboxd and take it seriously, as I have.
Could I be John Hoey on Letterboxd? I might be.
You might be.
When are you going to join a stream wearing that helmet behind you? I see all these great helmets in the background.
I can throw one on right now if you want me to throw one on right now. I don't.
It just seems like a waste of helmet. Have it back there.
Throw the helmet on.
I think I am John Hoey on Letterboxd.
A waste of helmet.
A waste of helmet.
I'm a decade of people. He's a waste of helmet. Look at this. Oh, I'm so jealous. I want one of these. I've always wanted a Boba Fett helmet.
I'm going to
so
go on a
bad.
stream where I don't have to talk about Star Wars, and here I am.
That's true. Just casually wearing that.
Oh my gosh. That's the coolest thing ever. I want to come over and play.
That's so cool.
Red 5 standing by.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Do you realize how I'm older than everybody here? Do you realize how unacceptable who we are as people was back in the day? You own that helmet. I got toys in the background. Mara's got toys. You got a giant life-size Spider-Man over there, Trevor, you know.
I was mercilessly bullied for liking Star Trek. It was a terrible part of my childhood.
Of course.
It was not cool to like Star Wars in the early to mid-90s.
No, that changed.
Star Trek. Cool
yes. Oh, look at that. That looks awesome, John. I love that.
It's electronic, too, so you can set it to Battle of Yavin or Battle of Hoth, and you play as a snow... Well, you don't play. You sound like you're in a snowspeeder or an X-Wing. And you hear like Wedge talking to you and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm so delighted that I'm angry.
Incredible.
That is awesome.
Wow.
That's so cool. And does it make your voice sound like anything?
I don't think this is like a fake. It's like a fake.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. You don't have to wear it the whole time, but I'm so happy you put it on.
Luke Skywalker drinking a Corona for everybody.
Product placement.
Why do I feel like Luke would drink Bud Light?
I usually drink Bud Light, which is funny.
Oh my God.
Luke probably would, as someone who's never drank alcohol. Luke just by name sounds like a Bud Light.
I've brought a beer into the basement.
with a child. We have a 40.
Blue beer.
I think I'm the child today.
$40 more, and Adam Witt will play a game. Just 40.
All right.
Ooh, can we give people a tease? Can I do one round with Adam because I actually need to go very, very soon, so I can put on real clothes and then go to the
Don't
airport.
miss your flight.
Yeah.
Don't.
You have an extremely valid reason to leave, which is to come hang out with us.
It's true. Okay, Adam, I want to give you one movie. And that way you can this can introduce John to how the Letterboxd game works.
Oh, yes. So, do you know the Letterboxd game, John?
I was given a brief rundown, but I would love to see a live example.
All right. Are you ready, Adam?
Yes.
All right. The first review I have for you. 20 years from now, a great new filmmaker will cite this as the movie that made them fall in love with cinema.
20 years from now, a great filmmaker will cite... Oh, is this for a movie that was made now and someone's predicting in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Or has this been cited as a filmmaker? Okay, so it is like a current type of movie.
It's a prophecy.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it's a prophecy. Fell in love with cinema. Okay, what has lofty... Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Okay, it's not that, but I love where you're going.
You know, like one of those things of like, some people really add a lot of lofty to some movies. They're like, it's just art. He's the new Orson Welles, Mara. He's the, you know.
I would say for me, something that threw me into really loving and diving into films was The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Right.
All
Right. Okay, so some directorial flair. But Mara's also laughing, so maybe there's not that much flair in it. So I feel like it has pretension, but not actual aspiration. Am I right?
Maybe it's 50 Shades of Grey. We don't know.
Liam Neeson, Run All Night.
That was
50 years
Dan's
ago.
guess. Like every other movie, we were actually filming a segment that was going to air at the end of this show, but because I was able to come here at the beginning since the flight was delayed, we're going to withhold that possibly for next week.
Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2.
All right, the next review I have.
From the same movie.
Yes. I relate to the main character because I'm also O positive. I can only mumble in small 2-word sentences whenever I'm surrounded by beautiful women.
Perks of Being a Wallflower. O positive is in blood type?
I'm O positive. It's all the rage, man.
Okay, Blade Trinity. I'm also O positive. I really relate to the people on screen that are trying to drain the blood out of people.
You should, you know what? You know what we're going to do while I'm in town? We're going to lock arms and go over to the hospital and see if you're a tissue match.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay.
Cool.
Wow, that sounds like fun. You know, Mara, you got the most fun ideas.
Right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're so sad that you aren't going to LA. Like you.
I'm
Yeah, you
I'm
don't
going
get to go on
in.
this trip with us.
I'm going in December. That's the current plan.
Nice.
Right.
We'll be there
Assuming-
too.
Well, maybe
Gonna
we
be
can see if you're a
fun.
tissue match with anybody too.
We're going to have a rager. We're going to all get arrested. It's going to be great.
Oh yeah,
I'm,
it's gonna be fantastic.
I'm so excited to meet my best friends. This is the only thing I can say in this current year.
We
Excited.
we need to do eventually. We need to find a way to do a live in-person basement.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, we should find a little theater venue or something. I wonder if we could do something like that. How fun would that be?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. I've got one more review for you. I think this
Okay.
will help.
All right, here we go.
All right. This is in with an asterisk. Takes a turn a little too hard while making a 4 p.m. Target run for Dr. Pepper. Witness me.
That's a review.
That is a review.
Takes
Holy cow.
wow, takes a turn while
Yeah, I
making
think
a
I know
4 a.m. a metaphorical 4 a.m. Unless it's that movie where they go looking for condoms all night. I don't remember what that was called, but
Here, hold on. I'll help
booty
you out here.
call. Is it booty
Isn't it?
call?
Booty call.
Mara, I just sent you my answer on Discord.
Oh, okay. Let me see. That is correct, Trevor.
Oh.
So what if I sprayed myself with chrome and I said takes a turn a little too hard while making a 4 p.m. Target?
Oh,
run for
witness
Dr. Pepper.
me.
Witness me.
Mad Max Fury Road. Wow.
Yeah, I had to in the
done.
second review. It
Okay.
says I relate to Max because I'm O positive, so I had to just say the main character. Or else it would've been a
Gotcha.
movie, but-
Because I'm O positive. Oh, his blood is O positive in that movie. How funny is that? Oh,
Yeah,
that's funny.
blood
And so is
bag.
yours.
There's a 5-pointer in a certain movie trivia.
I think I'm O positive.
Oh, I know what we're doing in December, Hoey.
What are we doing?
We're gonna go get you put in the bone marrow registry. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, on that
let's,
note,
let's do it. Let's do
So
it.
you need a lot of donors, Mara? I'd be more than happy to if I'm O positive. Is that a rare one or a?
No, it's not rare. Honestly, the hardest thing with especially bone marrow donation, like luckily I'm in the soft tissue market right now, but
I'm in the market for some soft tissue.
In the market.
bone marrow is tough though because the easiest matches are people of a similar ethnic background, and because
Okay.
of my blended background, it's a lot harder.
Okay,
to find
so you're
people
not
that do match.
extra super white because I think that's my ethnicity.
Sadly, no.
same here. Yeah.
I've actually
Yeah.
been in the registry for over 10 years now as a donor myself before like I would have ever been worried about anything like that, and I've never matched with anybody. So
Wow.
apparently
But
either A, people don't need my bone marrow, which is great. That's a great thing for them, or it's just so hard for me to match with somebody. So
But you need
Yeah.
a donor. You need donors.
I could use some stuff. We'll talk offline.
Okay. Sure.
I
I mean,
do-
how fun would that be to save Mara's life? I mean, I don't get to do that for anybody, much less someone I would absolutely do anything to save your life. So,
We'd get matching scars. It'd be so cool.
okay, let's do it.
We could just use a knife. We could have matching scars no matter what.
We get matching tattoos.
Now, that's a faction, folks. Those are teams
Right?
right there.
It's true. It's more than just a game. We're a family.
That's right. Well,
It's a
Wait,
life
wait,
zone,
wait.
if you will.
Let's see if I can.
It's a life zone, as one
we
might
go.
say.
Oh,
Family.
Oh God, there he is.
Family.
You can tell he's wearing extra like bronzer. I don't know that Vin Diesel needs that.
Right?
But,
Does that guy need to go? Can you color correct that down, make me a little more orange?
I am bronze.
Well, I'm gonna
I have the
leave
ability
you
to
guys
do
in
that
the
to myself
capable
right there.
hands
Dude.
of one another, and I'm gonna go put on pants and go to the airport.
I'm
One leg
glad
at a
you're.
time, Mara. One leg at a time.
Yeah, man, that's it.
See you soon, friend.
Yeah, have
See
a
you
safe
soon,
trip.
friend.
Tell Dan I said hi, and I don't know if I'll see him, but good luck and have a good time.
Yep.
How long's-
Man, you're the
Goodbye.
best.
How long's the flight here?
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's direct too. Thank goodness.
Okay, that's great. Well, I'll be sending you
Alright,
some
well-
questions tonight.
Awesome,
Some lawn
and
mowing
thanks
going
everyone
on.
who's tuning in right now. And I can't wait to hear what the mayhem was in my absence. So please be wild.
Will do.
Let's trash the place. She's gone.
Destroy the basement. All right.
I mean, that's the whole point of the basement too. Is you go down, you start playing your movies too loud or whatever, and your parents yell down, "Hey, keep it down!" And you knew you were
Right.
doing something right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
All right, guys. Streamlabs are still open. If you would like to send them in, not an obligation.
Yeah, buy Mara a sandwich on that flight. Come on, let's go.
Yeah,
That goes
yeah,
straight
right.
through. She's gonna get on the flight and go, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, we'll throw it up.
A
there.
nice plain sandwich.
Also, I mean, think about this too. Think about this, Trevor. Can you imagine? You know, you being into the same stuff that Trevor is right now when you were a kid, and yet you find this group of people that are also into all this crazy stuff. And a guy like Trevor's like, I don't want to have to go get a job at a Little Caesars, you know, like Adam Witt had to. So, you know, tip this guy out, keep him from having to get a real job, and he's just going to do this for the rest of his life, and then join the dungeon in, in about 5, 6, 7 years, and 3 years, and we'll be number one because this kid won't have had to have got a real job because you paid him out. Tip
We'll
him
be
out.
the only faction left, and it'll be the dungeon, and everyone else will just be a scrap pile.
Yeah,
That's it.
Exactly.
Let's see if
Rubble.
let's see if we gave Nerd Chronic solid promo material there. All right, let's talk about.
He watches all these. That's what's
what
insane.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like 10. I think there's 10 Nerd Chronics, and he just like cloned himself like Michael Keaton
there's
in
other
Multiplicity.
man. Multiple man.
Yeah.
I edit the promos for FCL, and people send two competitors send 1 minute apiece, and I go first statement from competitor 1, competitor
Yeah.
2, competitor 1, competitor 2, competitor 1, competitor 2, and I'm done with my shift. And I go look at his stuff, and he's like, he took every single podcast that had happened this week, downloaded them, listened to everything everybody said, and found the right. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
For sure.
We should probably talk about our main topic.
You got to bring up Cam's quote here first of all.
The most recent one.
Yeah, I mean, this is I relate. I just want to say I relate. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. Although I'll claim Cincinnati if you're from Cincinnati, but anyway.
Yeah, my co-host James is from Dayton, Ohio.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. I knew this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. There's somebody Dagan, one of the fans that chimes in a lot, stuff like that. He's from Dayton. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Wow.
There's actually a lot of schmodown centered around Dayton.
Wow. All right, the Green Knight. Hoey, did you
Felt like you meant that.
Green Knight?
Did I see the Green Knight?
Yes.
I have not seen the Green Knight, but I will be watching Jungle Cruise tonight, I think. So
Nice. Probably gonna
Yeah.
watch that tomorrow.
yeah.
So the Green Knight, I can talk about this a little bit. I really love this film. It is not going to be for everybody.
I'm so excited.
It's very weird. It's very off the wall. It's like it's so incredibly immersive. At least it was from. The
Is it 4x3? Did you say? Is it square?
It's not. This is not.
Oh, it's not square. That's the other one.
But
Yeah.
it's beautiful visually, like gorgeous. I'll be so mad if this doesn't, at bare minimum, get nominated for cinematography. It should win, at least with what we've seen so far.
Have you seen the trailer for this? This most recent trailer for this movie?
The Green Knight? Yeah, I watched
What a
all
great
of it.
trailer! Like whoever's putting that together, there's some of these boutique trailer companies that I would love to get a job with that do these like great trailers that are just completely outside the box. You know, there's the one trailer company that makes sure all the gunshots go with drum hits. Like we all know that one. That's one company clearly. But this one is just, it's narrated by the guy from The Witch. And Finchy from The Office, the British Office, remember that. It's just really cool trailer. I wanted to see this anyway, and I just couldn't. And it was supposed to come out a year ago, and I couldn't believe the trailer for this thing. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
But yeah, so I think the Rotten Tomatoes score really details the people's thoughts. So the critic score is a 90%. The audience score is a 55.
No shit. Difficult. I mean, that just means difficult movie. It's a difficult movie.
Oh no,
it's not
it's a very challenging movie. But it's, I mean, it challenges you in a lot of ways, both as far as the plot and visually. But Dev Patel is phenomenal. He's really, really, really good. And yeah, overall, like I was just, it's probably one of my favorite movie theater experiences in a while. Like, guys, go see this in a movie theater.
Ooh, okay, because I'm making my return, and I've been back to the New Beverly, and I've been back to the Alamo Draft House, and which I just love. So I'm going to the Alamo, but if the Vista has opened, although it might not because Quentin Tarantino just bought it and is probably ripping out the digital projector and throwing it out in the street as we speak. But but that's supposed to show new movies, like new releases that have a 35 millimeter print.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what the Vista's going to be. Companion to the New Beverly.
Is it a lot of action in this movie, Trevor? Is that why you're suggesting theater? What's your reasoning behind theater?
There really isn't a lot of action, I would say. I would just suggest theater for the visuals. Like, it's a transportive experience.
Immersive,
it throws you into this world and disorients you within this world. Cool. Like, it's you. That is cool. I walked out. I was having trouble balancing. There's some ridiculous cinematography in this. Like, it's insanely good.
Oh wow.
So I really, really love this movie. It's probably in my top 5 of the year so far. It will not be for everybody. There will be, I mean, my dad was incredibly bored by it, because it is a very slow movie, which is fair.
My parents took me to Ordinary People. That's what parents get. Sometimes they get to get bored too.
I just watched Ordinary People for the first time recently. I loved Ordinary People.
It's pretty good. Yeah, as an adult, I was like, okay, that's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah. No, I loved that movie. It's probably my favorite movie dealing with mental health.
It's harsh, isn't it? It's like you're just stuck in. I mean, I do and don't like movies where you're just dropped in the middle of an uncomfortable situation like that, where it's just awkward. I mean, I hate awkwardness in real life, but I just appreciate it as a movie. God, I'm just like, oh, this sucks for everybody in the scene, and I'm feeling it too. But man,
and you keep trying to remind yourself, like, this is not real. This is not real. This is not real. Like,
and you can't. If you're a movie fan, you just, at some point you just can't. You know, you're just Hereditary or whatever. You're like, I'm just stuck in this situation, like Gabriel Byrne. You know,
this is interesting because, you know, David Lowery, he's 40s from like Milwaukee, and he just developed this career. Did Pete's Dragon, and next up he's doing that reboot of Peter Pan and Wendy for Disney. So
we need to make one every 6 years, I think, right?
Writing and directing. I mean, interesting.
Yeah, no, I just started hearing about this guy around the time of Pete's Dragon, because I loved Pete's Dragon as a kid, and I was like, somebody remade Pete's Dragon? Because that's been one, because there's a lot of movies from when you were a kid that you're like, leave it where it lies, or try and watch it again and get super disappointed. You know, I feel like Pete's Dragon, I'm like, should I just leave that as a great movie when I was 8? Or should I watch it now and go, oh, it sucks?
right.
So then he made the remake, and then I started hearing, I'm like, no, this guy's kind of an auteur. Like, he basically does like a one for me, one for them. He does a really, really challenging movie, and then does what he feels is going to be, or I mean, at least a little more like a, you know, audience pleaser, like Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
Which I don't think pleased any audiences, but anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really, really like this movie. I just threw it. It didn't do lines like it was supposed to, but in the private chat, I threw some of the news from this week that we can pick out some stuff to talk about.
Okay.
But
get the hell out of here. Let me I just read all the things you wrote here. What? Get the hell out of here! No way. Okay, we need to talk about some of these things.
Okay, go ahead, Adam. Bring something up.
No. I mean, you have to bring it up because I didn't read these articles. I see the word. I see it begins with the word Batgirl, and you have my heart as a live action superhero fan. What am I reading here, Trevor?
So, have you been keeping up with the news of the new Batgirl movie that's in development?
I pay very little attention to rumors anymore because they make movies less fun. So I kind of bowed out of that after a while. So I get surprised at things like when I went to see Blade Runner 2049, I found out in real time that Harrison Ford was in that movie, which, so things like that make life much more fun. So I actually don't read a lot of the rumors.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but back in the day, I mean, I was like an Ain't It Cool News guys like every day,
Yeah. So first of all, Adil El Arbi and Belil Falafa or Fila, I butchered those names, but there's a director of Bad Boys for Life. They are directing.
Oh, that's right. What? Oh, they're directing Batgirl.
Batgirl, yes.
That's been through quite a. That was a Buffy. What's his name? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What am I thinking?
Joss
that was a Joss Whedon movie at one time, right?
Yeah, it was, and then he.
The feminist filmmaker Joss Whedon before he suddenly became not that.
Huge for the social movement. Yeah.
But
it was the '90s, folks. We were doing a lot of coke.
Was not there. But Leslie Grace, the star of In the Heights, has been cast as Batgirl.
So they're like making a Batgirl movie.
Yep, it's happening, and J.K. Simmons
awesome.
is going to be returning as Commissioner Gordon.
That's interesting because they're preserving that sort of universe, unless they're just saying, unless they're doing the multiverse thing, which multiverse is a tricky phrase for fan service. That's exactly what that is.
Oh, interesting. Well, okay, I would, but comics is well ahead of that trick for fan service, so they get to. It's built in. It's baked in.
Michael Keaton coming back as Batman for The Flash, to me, it makes no sense, but sign me up. I'll be there day one.
Yeah, I mean, alternate realities, that's also ways to have your cake and eat it too,
exactly,
yeah. But when I was a kid, the Batman TV show ruled my life. Like, that was, if you walked home from school, you didn't get to see you missed part of Batman. So school was to be run away from. And for the rest of my life, I would continue doing that because of superhero movies. So it's kind of all fits. But as of kindergarten even, that was, if you didn't make it home in time, you missed the beginning of Batman. And then, but the best Batman episodes were the ones that had an extended universe. Yes, I'm talking in 1977, an extended universe that there were episodes with Batman, Yvonne DiCarlo, I think I got that right, as Batgirl. And that was the coolest because you saw Batgirl in the comic book all the time, but live action was kind of conservative. It had the villains and stuff like that. There was no Mr. Freeze and, some of these extra, or no Two-Face in that show or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Batgirl one. So like Batgirl's near and dear to my heart. When she would show up in the show, you'd be like, now we're talking comic books, man. Now it's like really got the extended Batman family.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
They had multiple Catwomen. They had like Julie Newmar, Eartha Kitt, and all different.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, Trevor's like, what?
I know.
I'm lost.
Well, you invited a 48-year-old man onto your show.
And a 38-year-old to watch that stuff on reruns, man.
I've seen the 1966 Batman the movie with Adam West. I actually own it on DVD.
Right?
It's a movie.
It exists. I concur that it exists. Raves, Rex Reed.
Yeah.
I concur it exists. Raves, Trevor.
It's a thing. I sent you guys the Google Doc, which will.
Oh, okay, I see that. Yeah.
Look at
right
things.
on.
Just don't scroll down because there's Letterboxd game stuff.
Ooh, okay, I won't. I know, I don't want to.
But yeah, so no, I'm definitely very intrigued by Batgirl. And it's also going to be an HBO Max original, so there will be no theatrical release for it.
Not even planned at this point because they haven't even shot it. So like some of the other things that are on HBO Max right now, it's like they gave up halfway through the quarantine. Yeah, there's never going to be movies in theaters again. Just put it on TV.
Ever.
But yeah, no, I do think it's interesting that it's keeping with the DCEU because like the Suicide Squad, which comes out next week, is also supposed to be in the DCEU.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see what DC does with their continuity, and if Zack Snyder's Justice League replaces Justice League in continuity. They still haven't said what they're doing with that, because there's the Martian Manhunter setup at the end of that.
As of the Joker, Warner Brothers and DC, which have had the exact same relationship as DC Comics always had with Marvel when I was a kid, which was they're the big corporate giants dictating all of their IP. It's just IP to them. And Marvel's like the young, scrappy upstart who just happen to succeed and figure out a way to tell these stories. As of the Joker, are we allowed to curse on this show?
Why not?
Okay. As of the Joker, DC and Warner Brothers' official policy is fuck it. And they'll just do whatever. Thank you. I knew you'd have that prepared. And they'll just do what. Maybe there's 12 Jokers and there's 12 universes. Like that is the solution. That's like the Pee Wee Herman falls off the bike in front of the kids and goes, I meant to do that. That's DC. They're like, whoa, we'll have an Avengers movie just like Marvel. Oh no, they've made 12 of them and we haven't made one yet, but we're still going to put our Justice League out there and see. And then we'll just do a Joker movie too and maybe have 12 Batmans. I don't know. It's what we meant to do. So anyway.
I almost think it's Warner Brothers more than DC. Like
I mean, they've just always been a corporate.
Like they had such a great Superman with Henry Cavill. I thought Man of Steel is severely underrated, and they
ruin everything.
Him. They misused him. Like, how do you screw up Superman?
They misused Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. The next thing he would do superhero wise was the biggest hit ever, and even harder to sell. I think
Yeah,
it's nuts. Yeah. Sorry, I talked over you. What were you saying there, John?
No, pretty much they had a great Superman. I thought Man of Steel was a great movie, and even if you didn't love Man of Steel, I personally did.
Batman too.
They could have created more great Superman movies off of that with Henry Cavill.
What a waste!
It was truly a waste. And there you go. Yeah,
this is the weird thing that they've made. I own it because I
well, that's awesome. I don't own any of those on Blu-ray, and I would love to get that set.
Oh, yeah, it's a nice little package there. There you go.
That is nice.
I just went ahead and picked up Wonder Woman 84 and Birds of Prey to get the full DCU.
That's great.
Plus, you get the extended cut of BVS and Suicide Squad, which, why would you want it? I don't know, but it's there.
Oh, actually, that's the one thing I do own is the extended cut of BVS, because I'm a kid. If I saw a live-action superhero, the TV movie of Spider-Man is horrendous. The TV... By the way, on Tubi right now, they have the TV movie of Captain America, Death Too Soon, if you want to see what I had to watch when I was a kid. And that was good enough. That was good enough. So these movies, I'm like, what Marvel's doing is unimaginable. What DC's doing is exactly where I thought superhero movies would be in 2021. But what Marvel's doing is like, it's insane.
Yeah, once in a generation.
Yeah.
With David Hasselhoff.
I taped it off of TV and watched it over and over because they were never, ever going to make another S.H.I.E.L.D. movie, in my opinion at the time. I taped it. I have that on tape. And I have the Generation X TV movie because live action, I was obsessed with live action superhero movies and maintain that obsession. But at the time, you got one superhero movie a year, and then you got like a TV movie of Generation X with Matt Frewer as the villain, and really bad effects. And then you got that Roger Corman Fantastic Four. And you know what? That was the last Fantastic Four they were ever going to make, So I taped all those, No, and I was big at the Comic-Con, too, of like buying any of those rare cuts and the Wonder Woman pilot from 2000 or something, Like
it was a lot harder to find things back in the day.
Sorry, John, I keep talking over you.
Oh, it's okay. I was just saying, so it was a lot harder to find things back in the day. Like, when I was a teenager and a collector in the late 90s,
right?
It was either at the store or it wasn't. And you had to call collecting places and be like, do you have this? It wasn't like, let me go on eBay and just find anything I want, or Amazon, find anything I want. Like, the idea of the treasure hunt is dead, in my opinion.
Oh, it is. It is. And I lived through the era of treasure hunt with my friends there. And again, it was hard to find friends who were geeks about movies like we are, in high school and in college. But I lived through the whole treasure hunt era and worked and thank goodness I am the age I am, because I enjoy being able to go through all that. And I'll tell you a quick funny story. When I was a kid, there was a thing that came on TV, and it was Star Wars The Holiday Special. And I was like, oh my God, and I am exactly who I am today, just smaller. And I'm like, oh my God, Star Wars is on my TV in my living room. Now, there's no internet for many, many years at that point. So through the years, I started telling my friends, I go, no, there was a Star Wars TV show. And none of them believed me, and there was no way to prove it. And so for years, and finally, I went to my very first Comic-Con. I moved to Chicago, to a major metropolitan area. I went to a Comic-Con, and I saw the vast VHS fields of bootleg VHS. I mean, I must have spent $200 on VHS that day. I took away more VHS than I could carry on the train. But the first thing I did was walk up to that guy and go, was there a Star Wars TV show? And he goes, you mean the holiday special? And I might as well have fallen down on my knees and went, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
The ultimate vindication.
Oh my God. And there was that, and there was Legends of the Superheroes, which was Adam West and Burt Ward, and then Aquaman, Green Lantern, Hawkman, Sinestro, Weather Wizard, Cheetah, and like as a kid that never missed the Hulk or Wonder Woman TV shows or the Adam West TV show, that was another thing I had to convince people for years. I'm like, no. There was a Super Friends live action. And then that was the second thing I asked that guy at the Comic-Con. I was like, yes, you get me. Now you can get it on Warner's On Demand.
We talking about like pre-2000s live action superhero stuff.
Yeah.
I do
what?
That podcast with you.
Oh, yeah?
I do a podcast.
Yeah, no, I'd love to review them all. Watch them all again, because I literally watched Reb Brown and Captain America: Death Too Soon this week, because I was like, oh, I missed this, but it's so bad.
Why aren't you putting that on Letterboxd?
That's a good point. Thank you, because I guess I have an uneasy alliance with technology in some way. I don't know. I'm I can't believe I'm doing this, and that's enough.
That's fair. Let's break up the talk and let's play a game.
Enough talk. Enough talk.
You ready to play a game?
Would you like to play a game?
You guys can work together on this game.
Okay.
We are going to play the prequel, sequel, remake, reboot, crossover game.
This is a fun game. This is good.
Hoey, are you familiar?
No.
Okay, that's fair. So how this works is I'll give you 4 movies, completely random. All right, you have to give me one that you want to make a prequel or sequel to, one that you have to remake or reboot, and then 2 that you have to cross over. And you have to give me the elevator pitch.
And do you get to choose the other series you cross over with completely random, or is that within
it has to be
some boundaries?
It has to be one of the 4.
What? Yeah, one to cross over. Okay.
Yeah.
4 movies. 1 I'm remaking. 1 I'm making a sequel or prequel to.
Yeah. And then 2 to cross over.
And 2 to cross over with each other.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the F. This is his F, Marry, Kill.
Yeah. And we're working
Brandon,
together, so me and Adam have to agree on this?
Okay. Yeah. We'll pitch to each other.
Going back for a second to a multiverse of superhero. Do you guys know who voices Wonder Woman in Space Jam: A New Legacy?
There's a Wonder Woman in Space Jam: A New Legacy?
Yeah.
I do not. Is it Tara Strong?
It is not. You guys won't believe this. It is Rosario Dawson.
Wow.
That's a great voice.
Yeah.
She is so
Ahsoka herself.
talented.
Yeah.
She should be in everything. Like,
She's
everything.
coming back for Clerks 3. I'm very excited about that.
Oh, good. Because, that's... honestly, Kevin Smith's the one that turned me on to just how good she is. And once it was like in the commentary track for Clerks 2, of like, everybody, hire her. And so then everything I saw her in since, I was like, oh my God, he's right. Like, she is one of the best actresses that exists. Like, she's
very good.
So good and gorgeous. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
For sure. All right, are you guys ready?
Hit me.
Yes.
Your movies are Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, 1917, Her, and Hereditary.
Oh, look at you. Look at you with okay, first of all. Now we're not going to lead with this, but I got to say here. The fact that these two begin with the same letters is a natural for a crossover, okay?
Trevor was looking at an alphabetical list of movies, and he's like, "Yeah, those two."
Can neither confirm nor deny that.
Hereditary. Her, Dr. Acula. Dr.
Hereditary.
Acula.
So yeah, right, exactly. Scrub. Tony Collette. I don't know that I've
All right, so
seen
we got
Hereditary.
remake, sequel, prequel,
Right.
and crossover. Now I think
Yeah,
I know
crossover.
we know our crossover here because I just really liked the idea that you could advertise Hereditary. But HER is all in capital letters and then Hereditary is all lower.
Yes, absolutely. That's how you market that film.
Hereditary.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
without question.
okay. All right. Let's go with the crossover first then.
Okay.
If you have other thoughts on things, you can let that brew for a second. But okay,
No,
so
I'm down to run with that.
Okay, Hereditary is the ideal crossover because okay, so it's an app, right? It's a personal assistant app. But what's the deal with Hereditary? That she's a long line of. I've only seen the first half hour of that movie. That's a terrible place to leave off that movie, by the way. I was like, I only got 20 minutes. I want to get a feel for this movie. And so I was watching Hereditary. And as soon as we all know what incredible violent action happens around 25 minutes in. I was like, well, I have to go. That was always predestined. I'll get back to this. But anyway.
So I think so. If it's an app where you have AI technology and like you can like almost like fall in love with it in a sense, then you do the crossover where you can go back in time and channel people from your past and incorporate them into the AI and connect with them via the AI app.
Yeah, because
Hereditary.
Yeah, because this is Hereditary with a soul. Like if you can actually, if the person in the app lives a life, they can therefore develop a soul that stays in the app.
Exactly.
And even after a death, you pass on the phone or the app to your kids, and then or your daughter in that case of Hereditary, right? And then it just keeps living and keeps running your life. Like it's one thing to like run your life, like oh you have an appointment at so and so, but it's another thing to run your life. So
The only way they're stopped is if you don't update the app, and they find that out at the end of the movie. They're like, I just didn't have to update the app. If I didn't put on auto update, we'd be saved.
That's like a War of the Worlds thing where they just get a cold and it kills the entire thing. It's like
exactly, yeah.
The disease of having to update your app all the time. That's exactly what kills it.
There it is.
Oh, it's not available with Big Sur. Oh, never mind. Curse is over.
Done.
All right, guys.
Done.
Done. All right, that's good. So we need a remake and a sequel. Can we use the ones we've already used for this, or do we? It's all got to be Scott Pilgrim 1917. Okay, let's wipe these off here. All right, so we got Hereditary.
The sequel to 1917 would be 1918.
Of course, it'd be 1918. So now, 1917. When did the war end?
1918. It was 14.
1918.
Oh, so that's just another year of the war, right?
Yeah.
So the sequel of 1917. So let's not do that. Let's remake 1917.
Okay.
But instead, we'll deal with a bunch of like rich elites in New York, but we'll still do it one take. It's like the jazz age, like elites, what's the movie with Tobey Maguire about all the early 1920s, the Baz Luhrmann one, based on the novel. What am I thinking of?
Gatsby.
Yeah. Isn't that like around this time? Like, sort of.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Either pre or post Depression or during
the
Depression.
20s. The 20s, maybe the Gatsby's.
Sorry to cut you off. Just saw this from Andrew Valdez talking about Hereditary. It's one of the ancestry sites.
Oh, an ancestry site.
There you go.
Yeah, right. But it takes on, it's ancestry.com becomes self-aware.
Right.
Yes. It's
It was just
AI
trying to help you by saying, "Oh, hey, you might be related to this guy in New York," and then it's like, "You should go meet that guy in New York and worship Satan."
Yeah, you'll be like driving, and your phone will get a notification from your great grandfather via the app saying, like, "Don't forget to buy the milk in the back because it has a better expiration date."
Oh my God! Right. So it's all your past generations from Ancestry.com.
It's all on there. They
All
bother
over the app.
the whole time.
And sentient, like a soul. Like the
Yes.
Ancestry.com contains the soul of all of your ancestors
Yes.
who are now running your life.
Like you go to the bathroom and you leave without washing your hands, and your grandma pops up and goes, "Ding! Make sure you wash your hands." You're like, "Grandma!"
But in like pure hereditary form, you like close the mirror and her face is there. You know, like
Yeah,
that still
exactly.
happens, even though it's an
Yeah.
app. It's just haunting you.
And somehow
Dude, we're
Joaquin
onto
Phoenix works
something.
into it.
Right. Oh my God. Oh yes. And Joaquin. Yeah. It's ruining Joaquin Phoenix's life. Turns him crazy. Turns him into the Joker.
He plays himself.
Right. Oh, just like in I'm Still Here. Like the where it's supposedly a biopic.
Or being John Malkovich, yeah.
Right. Yeah, with Joaquin Phoenix as Joaquin Phoenix. So it's being Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Why weren't you at my funeral? Oh God, and the guilt trips.
Yeah.
And the amount of in my days you'd get throughout the day. You're like, look,
Oh,
I just
forget
want to
about
go
it.
to the grocery. I get it.
Right.
Okay, but do we have a plot hole? Why don't you delete the app?
You can't.
Oh, no,
It keeps coming back.
Well, no, John gets it that the operating system eventually times out, where you just have to get a
Right.
new phone, and that's
Yeah.
what kills it.
So as long as you don't update the app,
okay,
you're
sorry, I
fine.
missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's a good one. I think we went some miles with that one, Trevor. Has anybody gone that far with the premise yet?
I don't think so.
I should be in development. We should be in development. We're so good at this.
Kevin Smith, are you watching? Let's do this.
Kev, let's get on here. Okay, so we need a remake and a sequel prequel. So
You want to remake 1917? You're saying?
I think so, but we deal with some other who else was in 1917? What else was happening in 1917?
Is that
Right.
You know,
Is that
but you still do it in one take. But maybe it's like a jazz club or something. Here, I'm gonna look up significant events in 1917.
the first thing will be World War One?
Yeah. 1917.
What happened in 1917?
Okay, here's newspaper headlines 1917. There's gonna be a lot of World War One, but let's see what else. Worldwide influenza pandemic. Well, okay.
That's very topical these days.
Wait a second. Okay, it's one take in one house during one family that's locked down
During the Spanish flu?
during the
Yeah,
Spanish
but
flu. That's it.
It's 1917. That's it. We got it.
And the whole time they're wishing that they had a device in their hands where they could talk to their relatives.
Well, of course. Well, that
and then
you're trying to turn her Hereditary into a prequel, but
it's the ACRCU.
Yes, right.
but okay, so it's 1917. It's the Spanish flu. Everybody's got to stay inside, and the camera just follows people from room to room as they just eat up the time not leaving the house.
I think that's perfect.
I think that's
Then you
good.
got it.
Yeah.
I think that
All right,
leaves
then we're
us
making
with
or
a sequel.
to Scott Pilgrim.
A sequel to Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim versus the Universe.
Oh, Hoey, you nailed it.
Because you always have to go bigger.
You got to go bigger and do the same. Every sequel, everybody's ideal sequel is give me the same but different.
Right. And then you have so Scott Pilgrim versus the Universe. You still have Michael Cera. Maybe he's maybe he's older now and he's a little detached from that life and he's not as good as he used to be. Maybe he doesn't believe in himself anymore. Like kind of like in Hook when Robin Williams kind of lost the way.
Oh, Hook meets Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
So is he still with?
Yes, he's like an old guy. He doesn't believe in anything.
He's not a dreamer anymore. He's not that fantastical hero anymore. He doesn't believe in it anymore.
But he meets up with the chick again. What's her name?
So they kind of got
Ramona.
estranged. She rolls back into his life because the universe needs him and like just kind of lures him back into the mix.
Yeah.
Well, what about
Okay.
Does Knives come back?
Yeah, everyone
the
comes
other
back.
girl.
It's total fan service.
Okay,
We're doing full.
but he's
fan
got to
service.
use the 6 evil X's, or is it 5 evil X's? The 5 evil X's to defeat the 5 planetary X's.
Oh,
Like the universal X's. So there's an X from Mars, because there's the old thing of like men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and so if men are from Mars, then you've got a gay relationship X, and then the women from Venus, and then you got a Saturn X, you got a Uranus X, you got a
and then you put the obvious Uranus joke somewhere in the movie.
Gotta have it in there. Gotta have it.
It writes
Right.
itself. But
It does.
What's the motivation? Because
Who plays Uranus? Chris Evans or
Vince Vaughn.
Dev Patel, Vince Vaughn? Yeah. Ooh, Garth has got it here. They combine their powers like Captain Planet.
There you go.
But so what's the motivation? Because he defeated the 7 evil X's in the original
7.
film because he was trying to win the affection
Of Ramona.
Ramona. So is there a new girl now that he's trying to get, or are they coming
That's a
after
good
him?
question.
I mean, you probably would make him married at this point, and that wouldn't be necessarily the reason for anything.
What
now
if
it's
he's helping his child, and they have to go like on the
Scott
like,
Pilgrim
planetary
Jr.
expedition. Yes, Scott Pilgrim Jr. versus the universe.
Oh,
Interesting.
Scott Pilgrim Jr. versus the universe. I mean, we really have something out here.
It's ultimate
Scott
fan
Pilgrim.
service, and it's the same but different.
Does anybody know the apocryphal story? It's got to be apocryphal of how James Cameron sold aliens to the studio.
I know.
Okay, well, I'll give you the short version of it here. Look, guys, it's Scott Pilgrim, and then he draws dollar signs on the ass. It's totally apocryphal. It's like supposedly he walks in and he goes, guys, what I want to do is
Alien.
and then he goes, and then does that, and then drops the chalk and walks out. Which is 100% what never happened.
It's a baller move.
Yeah, exactly. Because anybody that tells that story doesn't realize the actual timing of that, because the studio would just go, we haven't even seen Terminator yet. Get back here. Like the timing of that, like aliens with an S, is like, nah, he couldn't do that. He was a bus driver.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, for sure.
Anyway.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
okay.
Versus the universe.
Yeah. I got one more game for you guys.
I would
You guys wanna
greenlight
send in,
all of those.
donations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
John.
I have time for one more game, and then I promised my wife we'd go watch Jungle Cruise together.
All right. Well, that's excellent. Well, I've written down a few movies I have to see here. Shiva Baby, Fear Street, Mogul Mowgli, and then I wrote Batgirl, but that was a note about the other thing.
Got
Yeah.
it.
But you had some basement news here.
Dreamworks.com/Knopic if you guys would like to send in some more tips. We would much appreciate it.
I mean, how worth it was what we just did there?
Yeah, it totally
I
was.
mean, yeah,
A buck at least a buck.
it was almost
I
like a
think-
little bit of like, whose line is it anyway? But also developing great vehicles for Hollywood at the same time.
I mean, it showed that
Yeah.
we know movies really well.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to do a rapid fire game here. All right.
Oh.
And you guys each kind of like Star Wars, right? You guys are each kind of fans.
I've heard of them. I've heard of that's the one with Mark Hamill, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
With the blast shield down, I can't see anything.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
so what we're going to do you guys have whiteboards around?
I do.
I haven't just retired mine yet.
So what we're going to do is I have
You played a monster, John. You played a
Yes,
monster.
I
Yeah.
sure did.
based on the ranking of Letterboxd, of Letterboxd. So I have 16 Star Wars films. So the main 12. The holiday special, Ewoks, Caravan of Courage, Ewoks Battle for Endor, and then as well as the TV movie Rebels: Spark of the Rebellion, which is like the launch for Star Wars Rebels.
You know, Droids just came on Disney Plus. Have you watched any Droids, John?
I have not yet. I do have to watch that for sure.
You know, I've been doing the Bad Batch with the Cinefanatics. I've been doing the Bad Batch recap, and I'm like, I really want to do the Droids and Ewok cartoon recap is what I want to do right now. So, if you need a segment for your show or something, we should do a Droids recap and act like that's a brand new show that's coming out every week or something. I think it's hilarious because it is awful. Yeah.
You know, there's a character in that named Kybo Ren.
Right.
Yes.
There's a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah. Kybo Ren.
All right. So what we're going to do is I have a bracket. So these are all sorted. So you guys, there are 16 movies. So we're going to go rapid fire. You guys will have to write down on your whiteboard. I'll give you guys 5 seconds to write down what movie you think is better, and then you'll flip it around and you guys see if you agree. If you guys disagree, I'll be the tiebreaker.
Oh, I like this.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. You're good at coming up with these games. Now you need a theme song. I'm going to make you some theme songs.
Yeah.
Go, Adam, you're on the spot right now. Go ahead.
What is this one called? What is this game called?
Star Wars brackets.
Star Wars brackets on the left and the right. That's Star Wars. There you go.
Well done. All right. So rapid fire, guys. 5 seconds. Your first your first battle is The Empire Strikes Back versus the Holiday Special. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, flipboards.
Is this the dating game? Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back. Yes, you guys. The Star Wars dating game. All right.
Star Wars dating game. Are we compatible as Star Wars fans? It's actually a legit thing.
Yeah. All right. Star Wars: A New Hope versus Caravan of Courage in Ewok.
All right. What is going on here?
What is going on here?
What's the catch?
I mean, first of all, you say A New Hope. I started writing before you even said something else.
As did I.
All right. Next one here. I promise these will get a bit easier. We have Return of the Jedi versus Ewoks: The Battle for Endor.
Okay.
Both of these have Ewoks.
All right. So he knocked out the original trilogy, assuming that would be obvious against anything. I see what he did here.
Okay. I mean, he thinks we're Sean Sullivan right about now with this question.
5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, we got Return of the Jedi. I was there opening night.
Original trilogy, I still don't think anything will beat it. That was my introduction to Star Wars.
Okay.
When I was 7, I think. My dad sat me down and we watched the entire.
Yeah, what order did you watch him in?
day.
What order did you watch him in?
I watched 4, 5, 6, and then after
Nice.
that.
That's great. You have a good father. Tell your father I said you were right about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in one day. We sat down and spent an afternoon watching the entire original trilogy.
Oh,
So
That's
great.
amazing.
And my prequels, I didn't even know there were prequel movies. I just knew that there was a Clone Wars TV show. So I just watched the Clone Wars TV show as my prequels. And then I realized, there's actual movies, and they're a lot worse than the show.
I'm getting up in age, but I think the only reason I would still have kids at this point is to show them Star Wars. To have something that I created that I could show Star Wars and see that joy in them would be amazing.
Yeah.
But the non-hassle of not having kids also sounds great. So
Yeah. All right,
Let me
next one,
tell you,
guys.
man.
Rogue One versus Attack of the Clones.
look at you.
There's only one right answer.
There is only one right answer here, but boy, I kind of want to write the other
4,
because
3,
I just do
2,
love it. I just watched the
1.
other again. Yeah.
All right.
But I did just watch Attack of the Clones again recently. I'm like, I just really love this movie. I really love it.
I love them all.
I know. I've always
right.
loved Attack of the Clones. Like I walked out of the theater and I was like, wait, people still hated this one? Like I thought, I was like, okay, all that Phantom Menace stuff, I get it. But I walked out of the theater and I was like, all right, all's forgiven, right? And everybody's like, no, that sucked. I'm like, what? What did they do wrong in that one?
Okay, most of that movie I really do like, though. I mean, anything with Anakin and Padme, I'm not a fan, but all of the stuff with Obi-Wan is like
it's
a
brief.
noir detective.
Yeah.
It's like really solid.
Oh my
I
God.
really enjoy that.
On an ocean planet with Jango Fett in a fight in the
It's
asteroid
cool.
field. Oh my, yeah, come on.
And then the sound of the things that you guys know what the names are that I
The
don't.
seismic charges.
Yes, those.
Yeah.
Hey, Mara.
Ooh, she's on her way to the airport. She's gonna be here soon. I'll be donating my bone marrow to her within 24 hours. That's great.
All right, next up, we have The Force Awakens versus the Clone Wars movie. Again, only one right answer.
I'm not sure what you're doing here. I still am not.
Yeah. There's some catch at the some M. Night Shyamalan spin at
Yeah.
the end here.
The Last Jedi and a pile of dog shit.
We gotta get rid of the lower competitors. It's like March Madness.
Oh, okay. You're working it down. Okay,
It's
I
a bracket.
gotcha. Are we in a
We'll see
bracket?
if there's
Okay.
any upsets though.
Nice.
So, and I'm always saying the one that's higher rated first. So we have Revenge of the Sith versus the Phantom Menace now.
Okay. This is clever. This is good with
Right. 4,
yeah, I mean, what are you going to do with 2 Star Wars fanatics? Something like this is
2,
pretty fun.
1. Made this up about 10 minutes ago. Flipboards.
Oh, we're no longer besties. We're no longer best friends, John.
It's over.
Whoever puts in, I know I won't be the tiebreaker. Whoever puts in the chat first will be the tiebreaker if we get one in like 10, 15 seconds.
Oh, we need a tiebreaker for this.
In Phantom Menace.
Gotcha.
I mean,
To see-
Phantom
to
Menace
see
is
what's in the-
Darth Maul and Liam Neeson and pod
It's
race.
got Darth Maul, but
see.
Revenge of the Sith has the great John Williams track.
Oh, get this guy out of here. Come on, Bart.
Would
Yeah,
you put that up
Battle of
against
the-
Duel of the Fates?
Garth
Battle of the Heroes.
Garth was in first with the chat. Revenge of the
All
Sith
right.
moves on.
All right.
All right. Next up, we have Star Wars Rebels: Spark of the Rebellion versus Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh.
This should be easy.
Yeah. Put Rise of Skywalker up against most movies. That
I
movie
wouldn't go that far. But yes, I would put Rise
rocks.
of Skywalker above this.
Yeah, that movie does rock.
It rocks. Anybody that doesn't like it's only seen it once. I'm convinced.
In 10 years, it's going to be
3 times.
beloved.
Yeah. I watched the whole arc with Solo of, we all hate it. A year later, oh, that's actually pretty good. 2 years later, you know what? That's probably one of the better movies. 3 years later, that's the best Star Wars movie. And I'm like, I watched that with Force Awakens, everything. Exactly. Make Solo 2 happen. And it will happen.
No, I don't hate Rise of Skywalker. I think that it is the lesser of the sequel trilogy. But I
You
think
may be
it's
wrong there too.
I've
Who's that?
I saw it twice in
J.J. Abrams.
theaters.
Oh God.
I did see it twice in theaters, so I have seen it more than once.
Yeah.
All right, next up, our last round 1 matchup: Star Wars: The Last Jedi versus Solo: A Star Wars Story. Probably 2 of the most controversial in recent.
This is a good question.
I will say I personally go Last Jedi, but you guys each go Solo.
This is a very tough choice actually, but I watched most recently Solo, and whatever's most recent is the one where I'm just like, this is an absolute masterpiece. And the same thing with Last Jedi, which I watched like 6 months ago, and I was like, this is a masterpiece. But because I watched it most recently.
I love The Last Jedi, but I rarely reach for it because it's just it's a tough watch because it's not as fun, and it's dark, but it doesn't have all the humor that maybe Empire had. I don't know.
Yeah, but does what in the whole series can compare to the join me moment? Well, actually, all the way through from killing Snoke, all the way through to the Holdo maneuver. Yeah. That whole sequence, I don't know what can compare to that. Maybe the trench run in the original. That
it's
is
really phenomenal,
really impressive. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I
also think
it's
many
one of the
levels.
best Star Wars ever.
The Kessel run is one of my favorite sequences in Star Wars history.
Kessel Run's great too.
Yeah.
And Solo's doing something completely different from the rest of the movies too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so's
All
Last
right,
Jedi actually. But,
We have 8 movies moving on to round number 2 now.
All
Are
right.
you guys ready for the quarterfinal matchups?
Quarterfinals.
This is the Star Wars Olympics. What we're
I
going
wish
to call
I'd
it.
stand for Last Jedi now, but anyway, it's.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what gets gold, silver, and bronze here. All right, quarterfinal matchups: Empire Strikes Back versus The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh.
Or excuse me, Empire Strikes Back. Oh, I said the wrong one. It's Empire versus Solo. I don't think it would have mattered.
Empire versus Solo?
It's Empire versus Solo. Sorry, I picked. I misspoke.
That's brutal, man.
That's brutal. Well, they're all going to get brutal from now on.
Yeah.
And now you got rid of the. Now we're into the top half, according to you guys.
I assume we both wrote this.
No, I was going to make the radical choice just because, again, I've watched it recently.
Wow.
I made a radical
All right,
choice.
Garth is in the chat.
Well, Garth is
He was
correct.
the first
Garth is correct.
Empire.
I went with a rad
So
choice
Empire-
there.
Empire moves on, but yeah, crazy from Wit.
Yeah. No, I mean, I
all
don't
right.
disagree.
All right, next up we have 1977 Star Wars versus The Rise of Skywalker. Again, there should only be one right answer. Should.
Well, there is in this one.
All right, let's see. Yep, you guys.
Oh, I like that he wrote Star Wars. That's what I used to call that movie.
Well, Trevor, to his credit, said that.
That's true. That's
I said
true. And
Nathan
yet I
Fillion
wrote
Star Wars.
episode 4 A New Hope.
Yep. All right.
Just
now
like
we
digital Java, I get it.
Now we got some of the. Now we got some of the tighter ones. These are some of the closest matchups I think that we'll have had yet. We have Return of the Jedi versus Revenge of the Sith.
Oh.
My pick here is Return of the Jedi.
Will you be the tiebreaker?
I don't know. All right.
There's no
let's
wrong
see what you
answer.
guys have.
Yeah, you got
Yep, you guys need
Jedi,
time,
baby.
Jedi. All right. Last of the quarterfinals, we have Rogue One versus The Force Awakens.
Oh.
My answer here is Rogue One. See what you guys pick, though.
This is interesting. This is very interesting.
All right, Garth in the chat has Rogue One as the tiebreaker. So if
All right,
it's a tie,
tiebreaker's
it's
Rogue One. Oh!
Rogue One though, because of Garth in the chat.
Garth decides.
Yeah.
That Rogue One's a fine movie.
Garth likes all the dark Star Wars movies, it looks like.
All right,
And yet I have a feeling that Rogue One is not a good movie. It, like when I watch it, I mean, I can't tell, but I'm just like, I bet like an actual critical reviewer or whatever would watch this and go, "Wait, this doesn't add up," but I just can't tell. I'm just way too forest for the trees, Endor for the trees.
I love Rogue One so much.
It's so good. Here's Lyra back from the dead.
All right, so we have our
Oh,
final
so
four.
good.
The final four matchups.
So
You
good.
guys can put each of your answers on the board. We have The Empire Strikes Back versus Rogue One, and Star Wars versus Return of the Jedi.
Wait, we're putting both?
Yep, we'll put both. We have all in the same time frame. The original trilogy and Rogue One in their final four.
Oh, wait a minute. I just screwed that up.
All right, let's see what you guys pick. See if you guys are matching.
Hold on, we'll turn at the same time. He's got to finish.
Okay.
He's gonna
All right, flipboards.
turn. Yeah, baby, we're friends. We're best friends. John Hoey and I are best friends.
We're so
Garth agrees with
traditional.
you in chat.
And Garth agrees too.
I would have went reverse. I would have went Return and Rogue One. Those are my two favorites.
No way. Well,
Yeah.
you're so young.
So this is our matchup right now for the bronze medal.
Oh,
Return of the Jedi versus Rogue One
oh,
for bronze.
okay.
My two favorites. I go back and forth constantly as my favorite Star Wars.
You know, I will switch. I will swap these readily day by day
Yeah. All right, for the bronze.
for the bronze.
Yep, Return.
It's the bronze. It's bronze in order.
All right,
Gold-
well, let's
gold,
see if
silver,
we go in,
bronze.
go in order overall. We got Star Wars versus The Empire Strikes Back for the gold. I'm with you. Dan. I think Return of the Jedi is the best of the original trilogy. All right, Hoey, are you ready? I'll do drum roll.
Oop.
Oh, sounds like somebody hasn't sat down for dinner with me.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
I can go on and on and on about the structure of that script. That is one of the most well-structured scripts in the history of film.
So So it goes in order: gold Star Wars, silver Empire, bronze Return of the Jedi.
So we've learned nothing.
Yep.
We have
But
not
welcome to
changed
movie
the game.
trivia. Welcome to movie geekdom. What have we learned here? That we disagree about movies every time.
John Hoey, thanks for joining us to verify what has already existed.
Verify history. You are one with history. Well,
We
I
are-
like that we were twinsies many times there, John, as I think we both could have predicted.
That and thanks, Trevor, for having me. Thanks, Mara. Thanks, Wit. You guys are the best. The dungeon rules, and this is a lot of fun. So hit me up. I know how to get to the basement. So hit me up anytime, and I would love to join you to if I have more time next time, tackle some like news and have some fun. But I'm glad we created pitches for her
That
edity,
Her editary, yeah.
her editary,
Her editor.
her editary.
Editary.
Dr.
No,
Acula.
there's a lot of fun though, so I appreciate it, guys. I'll catch you. Catch you
Good
both
seeing
later.
you, John.
All right, thanks, guys.
By the way, I heard a very funny story by Dan Harmon, creator of Community and Rick and Morty. When he was, him and Rob Schrab were partners, and they wrote a comic book called Scud the Disposable Assassin. And they got a lot of pitches in Hollywood to go in. And they were told to bring in like 10 pitches or something. So they had like a couple, and then they just spent all night kind of like going, oh, well, this idea, whatever. And when they went, and the very last one before they went off to the pitch meeting was Monster House, okay? And they were like, I don't know, what if it's like a monster, it's a house, it's like a monster house. Whatever, they're just like, they were done. Yeah. They go in, they pitch all the things. No, not interested. We got something like that. Da, da, da. They go down to the last thing. And Dan said that Rob Schrab kept saying to when they got to, he goes, what else you got? And he goes, well, we got one more idea. And he goes, and he was imitating Ed Wood doing the Dr. Acula. And he just kept going, Monster House. And then the executive would like look at him or whatever. And that's all he would do. He just repeated that. He goes, Monster House. And that's the one they bought. So funny. So remember, everybody, just say fuck it, whatever you do.
Oh, just a minute. I'm legally obligated to do this.
Oh, that's fun. Yes. I'm sorry. Language. We have a ute in the room. We got a ute in the room.
Let's see if I'll lower it down a bit because I want Adam to play the Letterboxd game. So if we get up to just $25, that's only $15 more than.
Here, look,
than
I'm
Adam
gonna send you. You're a hardworking kid. I'm gonna send you $10. So then somebody else has to send $5. Okay.
5. Yeah, 5.
But look at this. This is a hardworking kid. I'm gonna send him $10. Here we go.
Appreciate it.
Seriously, I mean, I don't want you to have to go get a job at Little Caesars. I'm going to send you $10. Yeah, here we go. What's the show called? What's your name again?
That you can find the link, Adam, right under.
Oh, that's right in the text. Mara sent the text. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's talk a bit more about DC. So I have this pulled out.
What do you got there?
Dark Knight Trilogy Blu-ray set.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a cool set.
And
I got a set. Yeah, I got a set for
Warner
Christmas.
Brothers was originally going to have the Dark Knight Trilogy launch the DCEU.
They were originally going to have the Dark Knight Trilogy launch the DCEU.
Yeah.
So they probably would have had.
So
I mean, obviously not
in
under Nolan. They would bring Bale back under a different director. Because they supposedly were going to pay Bale $80 million to do Batman vs. Superman. So I think that's what you're talking about, right?
Right. Well, because Zack Snyder talked about this and he said that he was going to do that, and that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was going to come back and be in like BVS and Justice League. Like,
that's right. Because they do the Robin thing there.
So do you think it would have helped the DCU out? Do you think it would have been for the better?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, the thing is, DC's no good at, they're no good at marveling their properties, because they're just trying to imitate Marvel, at that point. In fact, DC's been pretty bad about that all along. It's like, oh, we had these impenetrable characters like Green Lantern and Superman that nobody can buy into. Marvel's over there creating kids with acne and, you know, race relations problems and Asian American problems. You know, like actual, like, you know, the X-Men is an analogy for the civil rights movement or you know, any rights movement. You know,
Which Denzel Washington is Professor X, please.
Denzel Washington is Professor X?
Yes, it's what I want for the MCU.
Oh, that's a good one. So obviously they need someone like Christopher Nolan to come in, pick the whole thing up. That's none of that is You know what's funny is all the people that get beat down by the corporate Warner Brothers over DC that, like, you know, David Ayer. I mean, that movie looks like it. Suicide Squad looks like somebody took a baseball bat to it. It is that just destroyed. Nobody's doing that to Christopher Nolan. Those guys can't say no to Christopher Nolan. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. And they're like, okay. We just thought we'd suggest that. So, but what they got out of that was 3 movies, uncompromised vision that was very confident. And they're like, oh, please let us ride off of this. So I guess they were just going to take Christian Bale. I mean, even Christopher Nolan is listed as a producer on Man of Steel. And I actually think he had some good things to do with that. Is he listed on any other DC EU Justice League? Is he in Justice League? Christopher Nolan's name? No, Christopher Nolan's name.
Christopher Nolan.
Because I think initially he was going to play ball with him because he's on Man of Steel, and that ain't no Christopher Nolan movie. You know, I mean, that's like,
right.
You know, I mean, somehow somebody got a good. I think everything you need to know about DC is the fact that they're like, we need a genius. I know David Goyer. You know, like it's so funny. It's like, you know, like now Marvel's made 25 movies or whatever, and they're like, what if we got David Goyer?
Yeah.
I mean, that's DC. It's so funny.
You know, best director and best picture winner Chloe Zhao. Like,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
You know.
Marvel's like, hey, I saw this independent film or this weird radical filmmaker or this gay filmmaker or whatever. Let's put him in charge of our, you know, giant tentpole blockbuster. And then DC's like, what about Zack Snyder?
Yeah.
David Goyer.
So Christopher Nolan was an executive producer on BVS, Justice League, and Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, but we don't know if that's the same way that Tim Burton was an executive producer on Batman Forever. But, but in other words, told to leave and given some money. But
those DCEU films were all the only ones directed by Zack Snyder. So yeah. I feel like it's a connection with Snyder. So I wonder if maybe if Snyder had remained in charge of the DCEU, if maybe we did get some more Nolan references, maybe retroactively they bring it in.
So what do you think happens with that first movie out of the gate? So let's say Nolan, you know, bows out, but he gets the whole thing started. So then you've got your Batman versus Superman with Christian Bale. Continues that universe. I mean, they're desperate to be Marvel. That's why I said the Joker is the F it phase of DC Begins. Like, we tried, and we tried, and we tried. And you know what? This guy wants to make a Joker movie, and we ain't doing it with Jared Leto, because we're done with that guy. You know, so...
Yeah.
So then you'd have your Batman versus Superman with Christian Bale and Henry Cavill. You know, both, you know... Yeah. That is, by the way, and everybody complains about Joker, and I don't know what they're complaining about because I don't go online to read criticism. But when I was younger, and we all dreamed up our theoretical superhero movies and what would be the most amazing superhero movie imaginable, that's exactly the Joker we were talking about. It's like, what if they went really dark and and really just got into the crazy psychology of that guy, and then they did it, and I mean, obviously, plenty of people liked it. I mean, same people I talked to when I was a kid, obviously were like, "Oh yeah, they made it, cool, let's go see it." But everybody else was like, "Oh, the movie's terrible." I can't remember. I don't know what people don't like about it.
I like Joker. I think
it's the absolute dream Joker that we dreamed up when I was in like 8th and 9th grade. Of like, oh, what if they did this Killing Joke? You know, I mean, it's not the Killing Joke, but it's like that sort of like, vibe. You know. Slow, but you know what's also interesting about Warner Brothers is they keep making 1990 movies. That's a 1990 style movie. Like that easily could have come out. I mean, it's a real dark vision or whatever, but that's what they kept doing. Is like Marvel does Marvel movies. Like Captain America is Captain America AF, but the Joker may not bear any resemblance to the comic books.
In the 80s.
Yeah,
like it's even set in the past. So yeah, no, I agree. But oh yeah. Have you seen this? Howard the Duck is getting a 4K release.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, my dad has a VHS of it in the other room. But,
that's one of those comic books I read, and I dreamed of them making comic book movies and more, but you're like, I love Superman. They should really make Batman. And then they make Howard the Duck, and you're like, and then they do make Batman, and you're like, great. Now let's make Green Lantern or Iron Man. And then they make The Shadow, and you're like, That's why I thought this current era we're living in would just never happen. I was like, it's constant disappointment.
Howard the Duck came out 3 years before Tim Burton's Batman. We got a major Howard
just
the Duck
3 years
we got a
before.
major Batman film. Like, that's insane. But like that was in the era of like when Supergirl and Red Sonja and Conan the Destroyer, the sequel.
Yeah, that was superhero movies. Isn't that funny?
Those are superhero movies. Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe, and the most like invalid Masters of the Universe you can possibly imagine. You're like, I mean, the idea that they make an X-Men movie and put X-Men villains in it. You're like, what? Because Masters of the Universe are like, let's invent a bunch of villains. You're like, you have 85 villains in that cartoon. Why am I seeing none of them? And none of them looked screen accurate, comic book accurate. That's now you're like, when I saw the first Iron Man costume, I was like, oh my God, it looks like Iron Man. That's kind of crazy because it's still 1998 or 2008.
Well, really, I would say the first big comic accurate costume, would you say that it was, at least from the Marvel side? Because with DC, I mean, we had Superman and Batman. But like 2002 Spider-Man was very actual comic accurate. Like this is, I mean, it's sitting behind me. This is the 2002 Spider-Man suit.
Yes, we were shocked. That was in that era I'm talking about where they'd be like, I wonder what the X-Men costumes are going to look like. Oh, black leather. I wonder what Blade's going to look like. Oh, black leather. So when that happened, we were, 100% positive that was going to be, that's 100%. Yeah. And isn't that amazing? They're like, oh, I make him look like a fool.
Yeah.
We've got to put him in black leather.
Yeah. I love the Captain America, from Captain America, the First Avenger, where he's going on like the tours to sell war bonds, and he's in the 1940s comic accurate Captain America suit, and it looks so hilarious and good and bad.
That's amazing. And then I love how all of Marvel has somehow gotten in some way, the comic book accurate Loki, the comic book accurate WandaVision. That's really that. I love how they get that stuff in, even though I would say the actual Vision in the movie is pretty comic book accurate already. Yeah. Like obviously it's just the cheesier one, but Wanda had the acceptable in Avengers: Age of Ultron. She had the acceptable leather costume, but at least it's red. Yeah, she doesn't have the tiara. We don't expect everything, to be 100%. But
I mean, and we also kind of got like the Quicksilver suit on one of the kids from the '60s, the original run of Avengers. Lots of great stuff in that show. I got so excited every single time. Oh yeah, have you ever seen? Garth just brought it up. Have you ever seen Superman in the Moment with George Reeves?
Oh yeah.
That's a fun movie.
That blew my mind when I was a kid because my grandparents got cable. And I knew there was a Superman TV show out. And again, I was really obsessed with live action superheroes. And so I was obsessed with the Batman. And when they got cable, I was like, Superman's on cable. You have cable? Yeah. I've heard Superman's on cable. And then as soon as I discovered that George Reeves TV show, oh my God. I mean, the fact that there was a Superman TV show and it was on every day, because I'd never seen it, it was from way back when.
Have you seen a Stamp Day for Superman? It's a 20-minute short.
Stamp Day? No, what's that?
Yeah. So Stamp Day for Superman. It's a 1954 Superman short.
Uh-huh.
Short film. So it's with George Reeves, and it ties in with that TV show, the George Reeves TV show. And it was commissioned from the U.S. Congress to have people go and like celebrate Stamp Day more, which clearly didn't have any effects because I didn't know what Stamp Day was until I watched the short film. But it's like this 30-minute long short film. It aired as an episode of the show, but it was also shown in theaters.
Yeah.
And it's just like Superman. It basically just feels like an episode of the TV show, but it takes place on Stamp Day. But it was
What is Stamp Day? Is that like Easter seals or something, or some sort of donation, like for the government?
I don't know what Stamp Day is. I don't even know if it's a real thing anymore. It was 1954. But yeah, it's definitely.
Now, can I not donate through YouTube? I've been trying to donate for the last 12 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, we have to get there's no super chat.
Oh, see,
right
I got
now.
to sign into the. See, I don't know what to sign into then. I don't know. Now I got to look up passwords and crap. Damn it. Well, I was going to contribute. I'll buy Mara dinner.
But yeah, no, we're talking classic live action superhero stuff.
Yeah. But one thing I wanted to mention about screen accurate costumes, the one that had the biggest guts was the Phantom. Like.
Yeah.
And in no purple costume, no Phantom. Like what are you even doing if you don't have the purple costume? It's like you just run around a jungle. Okay, well I could see an Indiana Jones movie, you know.
Right. Right. All right. So here's like Marvel films that were like television films. There's the 1977 Spider-Man TV film, which is terrible.
The Deadly Dust. Or
Yeah.
the Hong Kong connection? Or the Chinese connection?
Not the Chinese one, the American one.
Right. Well, yeah, then there was yes, I know what you're talking about. That there was an American one called The Chinese Connection, which was trying to ape off of
got it.
some kung fu type stuff, yeah.
Got it.
You know, by the way, the very first Spider-Man TV movie, which was a big deal back in the day, because I watched Wonder Woman and the Hulk every week. That was the power 2 hours of TV, but then once a year there'd be a Spider-Man TV movie, and I was like, that was a big deal. Yeah, Nicholas Hammond, that was a big deal. Who was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? That was such a big deal, and so I always had that movie on tape and would watch it because it's the only Spider-Man we had. And then the New Beverly got a 35 millimeter print because all those Marvel movies would be show in Europe as feature films, and they got a 35 millimeter print widescreen with extra footage from the European release, and I got to watch that in the theater. And boy, I'll tell you, if I could recount a few of the best days of my life, that's up there.
Yeah. Have you seen the 1978 Doctor Strange made for TV movie?
I have, and that one never came on TV. I had to learn about that one in the Comic-Con circuit because the same day I bought $200 worth of tapes and carried them home. I also got the Spider-Man TV movie. I got the Red Brown TV Death Too Soon with Christopher Lee, and then I discovered there was a Doctor Strange. I bought Doctor Strange that day too. Peter Hooton plays him. And it was a riff on General Hospital because they felt like they had to have some kind of inn that, you know, where there's a detective thing or whatever. Like basically the Incredible Hulk TV show is kind of like The Fugitive. He goes town to town, helps people while trying to, so they all had to have kind of a thing. So his was kind of a hospital drama. And then he goes full Doctor Strange. It's the only Doctor Strange we had. I certainly never thought they were going to make one of those.
Yeah. So did you know that Jessica Walter is Morgan Le Fay in that?
Right. That's right. I forgot. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Jessica Walter is Morgan Le Fay. I mean, how interesting is that? That's so great. Yeah. Jessica Walter of Arrested Development and Play Misty for Me, Clint Eastwood's directorial debut.
Yeah. I mean, and she's like, at that time, she was, so that Doctor Strange movie was 1978. I think.
Yeah, that's when they made it. Kiss Phantom of the Park would have been on the same time. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But like Spider-Man would come about once a year. Captain America would come about once a year, and sometimes they're repeating the same ones, I think. But there was a sequel to at least Captain America, and Doctor Strange never. I never saw that on TV as a kid. I would have flipped.
Yeah.
Would have flipped.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because Jessica Walter at the time, she was coming off of a Golden Globe win. She just won a Golden Globe in 1975.
For what? What?
It was a limited series, I think.
Oh, okay. Not for
So-
Play Misty for me.
Yeah. So it's crazy that she would play Morgan Le Fay in Doctor Strange.
Well, now I got to tell you, there was a very different time for actors, and you can still see that in some modern actors. But there was a time where if you had a hit, you did as many things as you could in the next year. You didn't do that. Okay, it's time to think about my prestige. It's time to do my Meet Joe Black. That's a modern convention. Everybody else, like, look at Harrison Ford's career. He did 4 movies the year after Star Wars hit because I got kids and I will literally never be in a hit again. Because that's just the stats, you know. So yeah,
Right.
So people went and they just got if they got some heat, it's like I'm starring in everything, and you can see that in old actors' careers. Once they had a big hit, they did 5 movies the next year. They didn't do a movie 2 years later that was prestige, and hopefully we get you the Oscar. That's a modern convention, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Looking through, have you seen the Justice League of America from 1997?
Yes, I have. I got that at the
Yeah.
Comic-Con as well.
haven't-
That
I
had
haven't
the
seen
voice
that
of the
yet.
Crypt Keeper as Atom. I can't think of his name right now. They made a whole Justice League pilot, and Miguel Ferrer was the villain.
Oh, wait, Matthew Settle's in this as Green Lantern?
Who?
I'm just looking at the cast. Matthew Settle?
I don't know who that is, but yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I mean, that was like the same thrill as when I was a kid and saw the legends of the superheroes with all the, all the extra superheroes. I mean, seeing someone play Atom, a terrible Atom. Seeing someone, David Ogden Stiers from MASH, plays the Martian Manhunter in that one. Just seeing a live action Martian Manhunter, just seeing a live action Spider-Man, bad as they were, was enough for me. That was awesome. And they also had Fire and Ice, I believe, like obscure superheroes in that one.
Yeah. There's so much fun stuff to dive into with like classic live action.
Yeah, Miguel Ferrer is the guy in Hot Shots Part 2 that says, "War, it's fantastic." He's the villain in
really?
that
That's him?
Justice League TV movie. And yeah, John Cassier, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, was the Atom. And then what's so funny too is because all the rights were tied up, much like the Legends of Superheroes in 1978. There's no Superman in that one. There's no Batman in that one. I mean, there was Batman in 78, but in that one, it's like, oh no, those are tied up. There's no Wonder Woman in that one. There's no Aquaman in that one. Those rights were all tied up. And Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, which is, that's very, very much of the time. 97, you said?
97, yeah.
Yeah.
So lots of interesting stuff.
And much like the Roger Corman Fantastic Four, it's a lot of walking around in spandex and then effects in the last 10 minutes. Like they finally got some effects in at the last, but that's because that's what you did, But it also seemed like the death knell for colorful costumes. It's like these things kept coming out with colorful costumes, like the Phantom and that, and the studios were like, nah, people aren't buying it. Back to black leather.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is a fairly reasonable place to wrap it up. Even though
We've covered it all.
I could talk superhero movies all day with the
I
favorite Adam Witt.
have spent a lifetime talking superhero movies. I could certainly do more of it with you.
Yeah, but I think this is a wrap on the show. So thank you to everybody who was watching. I know it was a bit of a tricky time to go live with maybe something else important going on with a particular movie trivia program. But thank you to everybody.
But Garth and Cam came to play. We got some good folks in here. Who else we got? Let's say thank you to everybody here. We got Garth, we got Cam, we got Dan, we got who else we got? A while back we got Stacy, Ken, Gary. We got some good people in tonight.
Plenty, Andrew. plenty of good people in here.
Hopefully, it's been entertaining. I think we had some good stuff going tonight.
Hopefully, yes. And Mara, I'm hoping we'll be able to be on next week. But we'll see. If not, we have some pre-recorded stuff with Mara, so Mara will still be here regardless. But really, really appreciate it. Adam, where can the people on the internet find you on the internet?
Well, when I get done with things like this and doing some streams, I like to sit down and edit some podcasts that I recorded with Paul Preston, now growing on 2 or 3 weeks ago, for the Ford Fiesta. Please sign up for the Ford Fiesta. I'm sure the people who are watching right now are aware of the great podcast with me and Paul Preston, in which we talk about every single Harrison Ford movie.
Nice.
In which we might be going to a live stream soon because they just can't get edited. So we're just like, all right, let's just do them live. So we might actually be starting a live stream just to facilitate getting the Ford Fiesta done.
That's fair. And then yes, you can find me here. You can find me on Letterboxd at my name, Trevor Matteson. And then I also do occasional YouTube stuff of my own at Trevor Matteson Talks Movies, because alliteration, TM. But
I like it.
I will see everybody later. Adam, I will see you later. Thank you.
Good seeing you again, Trevor.
Yep. Bye.